Label Radio.
We here. Oh, you got no sound? Let's see. Let's turn
Okay,
it.
I got it now.
There we go. Yeah. So, we got little brother in the building, man. Rapper Big Pooh Fonte.
What up?
Yo, this is dope. Man. I 4 years ago, rapper Big Pooh sat in front of me when we was at somebody else's spot. We in our own spot now. This is our own spot right here.
Yeah, and I noticed the building was different.
Yeah, building was different, decorations different and shit.
Yeah.
And we talked.
I said it'll never happen.
Yes.
I know.
But so, you didn't say never, because I said never happen. You said I'll never say never, but you said 99%.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, what would it take? And you said a lot of personal healing.
That's what it took.
And then I said, yo, we get Ayala to save y'all life?
Hell no.
Nah.
And he said the same thing.
Ayala saves no one's life.
But
I've watched every show. They all end the same.
It does. But the funny thing about it is that y'all had a skit on your album.
It had to be done.
It had to be done. I'm like, and I'm gonna tell you, even though I probably wasn't, I felt like I was the inspiration for that. So I took credit for the inspiration of that right there, whatever. But I've seen a lot of interviews, and it seemed like the personal healing happened.
Yeah, man. I mean,
how did we get here?
A death.
Our great soul singer Percy Miracles died, and it really just sent a shock through our whole community. Oh shit.
Okay,
damn,
it's all good.
Nah, man. I think how we got there. I mean, definitely. It was the death of Phife played a big role in it. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things where we had all been through deaths, like in our family, and we've been through deaths. I mean, even other celebrity deaths and things like that. But Phife was one that felt like ours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he was one of us. And that just really hit close to home. And at the time when he passed, being Pooh, we weren't talking. And, that just really resonated with me. I was like, man, we don't know how much time we got. We don't know how much time we got to do this. Me and Pooh just need to at least have a conversation. And, we ended up talking.
Who reached out first?
He reached out first.
Okay.
He reached out first. But at the time when he reached out, like we was on the same page, because I had been working on some foreign exchange stuff with a friend of mine that sings in our band, Carmen Rogers, and we were cutting tracks at my crib that day, and when we got the news, and I was just sad like that whole day, and she was just like, well, "What's wrong?" I was like, Phife died, and it just makes me think of Pooh. Like, I just feel like I should reach out to him, and within 24 hours of me saying that, like, he texted me. Yeah, it might not even been 24 hours. It might have just been a couple hours. I can't remember. Yeah. But he hit me. He hit me and was just like, "Yo, man, regardless of whatever, I love you. You're my brother. Just whatever." And I hit him right back and was like, "Yo, I love you too. Let's rap." And we got on the horn, and we was on the horn for like 4.5 hours.
That's dope.
And we just talked about everything.
That's dope.
And so, yeah, man, I think it was. I mean, I think Phife's death was the catalyst for it.
Yeah.
But,
it was in your heart already.
That was in your heart already. And it was just time. I mean, we just had to grow up. You know what I mean?
A lot.
We both had to grow up, man. And, and just own those parts of yourself. Because it's easy to get defensive and just be like, well, man, I didn't mean it like that. Or I didn't mean it. But, you learn. One of the things I've learned just, growing up is just, your impact is not the same as your intent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because you didn't intend to do something hurtful or harmful, it doesn't mean that it didn't impact that person in a harmful way.
Yes,
yeah. So
yes.
you just gotta be you have to just wholeheartedly apologize and just say, look, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I was a dick. I'm sorry for whatever. And just own that and most of the time, unless you just done did some old wild shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you
like kill somebody.
Like unless you done killed somebody, did something retarded.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, a simple "I'm sorry" and just an acknowledgement.
You can redeem yourself.
That goes a long way, man. Just showing people that you're thinking about their feelings and you considering, where they are. That can go a long way. And so I think that was what the thing was with the two of us.
That's dope. And during that interview, we talked about when y'all first started, and one of the first songs y'all recorded, you said was Speed.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I told you, one of my favorite joints by Little Brother. So let's get into it right now. Let's play Speed, and then we're going to get back into some more conversations.
Yes, indeed.
White Label Radio, Little Brother in the building, man. Nympho, drop that shit. Little Brother, Speed. off that Listening album. That was the first joint y'all recorded, and we just having a conversation off air. What does it feel like when you hear that song? What emotion or memory does it bring back when you hear that joint?
Cringe.
Yeah, you definitely
Why?
cringe.
Is this? I just hear mistakes.
Hear all the mistakes, every mistake that you made.
Just how.
Because you evolved as an artist or whatever, so you hear all the imperfections are
You hear the youth,
the youthfulness,
the naivete.
Yes.
You hear it all.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also, like, we had this conversation last week, and we were in Seattle, and we were in the restaurant. Shout out to the Jerk Shack in Seattle.
Shout out to the Jerk Shack.
And they were
for real.
They were just playing songs, and I guess the listening was on that station.
Uh-huh.
So records started playing, and we both was just looking at each other. And Fonte said, he was like, "Yo, it's crazy to think like this record is what got us here 16 years later, eating Jerk Shack in Seattle, Washington."
That's
like,
crazy, right?
Like
That was started
it started here.
And recording that song, did you ever think that you would tour the world?
I didn't think anything.
I just thought like we made a dope record and
Yeah.
I got something to listen to at work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like that was really all it was. I don't think any of us were just thinking, further than that. It's just that, it definitely felt like we kind of struck gold, not like in terms of money, but it definitely felt like, oh man, we figured it out. Like, yeah, this is it. This is the sound.
That's the sound.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it was a light bulb moment in that regard, but other than that,
You didn't think beyond that, like
Nah.
I mean, because this was before the internet was what the internet is. So it was like, we gonna print some copies up and we gonna sell them out the trunk of the car at the mall, and
if they buy it, they buy it, right?
If they buy it,
Yeah.
they buy it. But we still going to work tomorrow. I was still in school, still go to class, still go to work, and that's all we was thinking about.
And when did you guys know you made it? When did it become a job and you're like, oh, this is what I'm gonna be doing?
Man, that's a good question. When did it become a job and you realize this is what I'm gonna be doing?
I think for me,
Probably about 2010. Shit.
yeah,
I mean, later.
when it was able to really sustain. But I think for me, I really went all in. I'll never forget. It was March 2003. We had came out to Cali for a 2-week tour, and that tour went horribly.
Yeah.
We didn't get the money the people said we was gonna get. Like, it was just horrible.
The people. Who's the people?
Benny B.
ABB.
ABB Records.
Yeah,
Okay.
So like, we come home, we arguing about money, with him, and the tour was just like blah, whatever.
Yeah.
It ain't what the tours I heard about. It wasn't that. And so I come home and I go sit in class, because I go right back to class, and I sit in class for 45 minutes. I leave class and I say, yo, I'm done with this shit. Like, I quit my jobs, I quit school, right, March 2003, and I never looked back. And I was like,
that was right. I had quit my jobs like a couple of months prior to that. My last job was working at I was working at this department store. I was working at Belk, just like a Macy's, whatever.
That's when you mentioned on the album, right? You talked about working at a department store.
Yeah. I was working there,
yeah.
and I was supposed to come in and work on a Black Friday, and they had to, they had to schedule
the
up
5 a.m. joint.
Nigga, they had to, it was like, and it wasn't 5 to a time. It wasn't like, we work 5 to 12. No, it was like, nigga, you work 5 to Saturday. Like, it was just a big
5 until, right?
Man, listen, just for the duration, nigga.
Yeah.
So bro, I was like, they was like, all right, Fonte, we'll see you tomorrow. I was like, yep, word up.
And you never went back.
I just got home, I told my girl, I was like, hey man, I ain't going back in that motherfucker.
I can't do this.
And she was just like, all right. And that was Black Friday. So that next month, that was around Christmas time. I think we went to see her parents. Her parents might have gave us like $200 for Christmas or whatever. So I had enough, like my check, I had enough like to cover my rent, my car note, and all that. And then we went on that tour, that tour in like February. And so I came home from there, and I think we came home we had to wrestle them for it. But we came home with like
we got it.
$1,000 a piece.
We ended up getting it after fighting about throwing hands for it.
Like, for real.
Finally
For
got it.
$1,000 a piece.
Yeah,
For $1,000
a piece. But back then we was like, I'm just thinking like, all right, $1,000, I can pay my rent, I got my car note, I got this, I got that. You know what I mean?
It was just like make the basics. Make it to the next month. That's all it was about. Like, because my rent, I'll never forget. My share of the rent was $338 a month.
Damn.
Jesus, what I would do to go back to
right?
that
Just
day.
imagine. Just imagine.
So it was just, we just like, I was like, yo, I just got to make it to the next month, every month. That's it.
And that's pretty much what the life of an entrepreneur is. I just tell everybody, it's like you're just swinging from vine to vine, just hoping another one comes.
The
you let
vine
go
don't
of
break,
one vine.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, now as you go further in your career, the vines get closer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
But
you know
you
it's,
still swinging.
you're still swinging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the vines get closer and more reliable, but it's still swinging vines, and the
Yeah.
game is the game. So.
Yeah. So, of course, another thing we need to talk about, let's get it out the fucking way. Of course, Ninth Wonder.
Okay.
He's not on the album. I've seen a lot of interviews. You said it's no beef. My question as a fan, do you think that the fact that you guys are self-sufficient and you guys had control pretty much of the group, he didn't come back because he didn't have a control? Was it a control thing or an ego thing?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't
that's
speak.
a question for him.
Yeah,
Okay.
he would have to ask
Okay.
that.
It just didn't work, man. Like, I mean, it's just nuts and bolts. It just didn't work. Like, you know, people want things, you know, they want to see things, but shit just don't work out that way. It don't work how you want it all the time, or how you plan on it working all the time.
It's funny because I'm gonna put our cameraman Jared on blast right now, because when your album came out, I was like, this shit's hard, and he's just a stand for
Right,
Ninth.
right.
He's like, man, Ninth ain't no, I'm not gonna listen to it. I said, man, just listen to it. And then he came back, he said, that shit hard. But then I started listening to interviews, and I didn't realize you guys pretty much, after the first album, you guys pretty much drove the car of
Yeah.
the sound.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why the sound is still cohesive to this day.
Yeah.
I always thought, of course, every fan did, that he drove the car. That's the reason why the sound was the sound. But you guys was the architects of the sound for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for us, and again, I never take any credit away from any of, you know, the beat makers and, you know, producers that we work with
Yeah.
over the years, and just the, you know, we've been blessed to just work with just some incredible dudes. I mean, like Focus, Knots,
Yep.
Man,
Illmind,
Black
yes.
Gold, Black Milk. Shout out to my brother Black Milk.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? No King Michael Coy. Like all these brothers that we've been blessed to work with, you know, not taking nothing away from them, because they're just, I mean, they're gods of what they do. But we're always adamant and just letting people know, whenever people ask like who producing, we tell them the two most important producers are on the cover.
You too.
Goddamn right.
And that makes sense.
You know what I mean? So it's like when it came out and people were like, oh man, it's amazing. It sounds like a Little Brother album. Well, it sounded like a Little Brother album because Little Brother made the album.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's funny, because I remember when Cannabis was out and his album flopped, he said, well, Wyclef picked the beats and he did his thing. No, you as an artist gotta
you gotta drive.
You gotta drive.
It has to
drive.
be
You
it
gotta
has
drive.
to be your vision.
Yes.
And we just kind of always had an idea of, you know, what we wanted to say and what we wanted it to feel like. I think definitely Made a Little Watch. I mean, for me, it's our best album. For me, it's the album where we sound like the most ourselves. To me, it sounds like we grew into ourselves, and it's not a record that, you know, I think you can. One thing that really stuck with me, I had a cat tell me, he was just like, man, I put y'all in a playlist of just like, I just made an LB playlist of like Minstrel Show,
Yeah.
listening to just all the records, and I threw, you know, stuff from Made Lord in, and he said, and it all sounds like, he's like, if you didn't know any better, I couldn't tell what was recorded in 05, what was made in 03,
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
made last week.
Which is true.
He said it just all kind of sounds, you know, it sounds timeless. And
Yes.
that's something that we always strove for. We just didn't want to make records that people would grow out of, or something to be hot for a little bit, and, you know, and then it's over.
Yeah.
We always want to make something that's,
You loved
that's
it
longevity.
then, you're gonna love it now.
Yeah.
Timeless. So now my next question is, do you guys consider yourselves a duo or a group?
I guess, I mean, in the strictest sense of the word, maybe just a duo, 'cause it's two of us.
Yeah, but it's always been like a group.
It takes a lot to get. I mean, there's lots of other people.
Yeah,
you know,
lots
that-
of moving parts.
So many moving parts.
But in the sense of things, you guys consider yourself a duo.
I would say a duo.
A duo, yeah.
The reason why I asked that, because you guys are in my top 5 duos of all time.
Man, that's big. Thank you.
Let it be known then.
And duos, and everybody out there, I'm talking about EPMD, Gangstar, Pete Rock and Seal Smooth,
Yeah,
Outkast.
Cass, yeah.
Now, question for you hip hop heads, you too.
Absolutely.
Is Run DMC a duo or a group?
I will have to say they're a group. I mean, because Jam Master Jay, granted, although Jam Master Jay didn't officially become a member of the group, I think until like Tougher Than Leather.
Yeah, exactly.
When it was kind of over, you know what I mean, at that point.
When it
but,
was the
you know,
end.
I mean, look, all respect, but yeah, but it was,
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, I still consider them a group.
I would
mean,
say, I would say group because he's just, when you think of Run DMC, you also think of Jam Master Jay. Like, it's not like you think of Run DMC and then it's like, and then they're DJ Jam Master Jay. Like, it wasn't that. Like, it was Run DMC. Who's in Run DMC? You ask anybody who's in Run DMC, they're gonna name all three of them.
and Jam Master Jay. Yeah, that's just. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
So they're a group then. So
they're
like I said,
I would call them a group.
You guys are my top 4 then.
Now we got them out the way.
You got them out the way. Shit, you're my top 4, man.
That's what's up.
When
man.
you guys hear that type of praise, how does it make you feel? Because I'm sure you get this on the road, and you get people that say, "Yo, my son is named after Fonte," or "I have these certain things," or whatever.
That, yeah.
I know you probably
You
have.
got kids named after you,
That's
guys?
nuts. I had,
You in that wave?
Yeah. It ain't my goddamn wave. My kids is grown. But nah, bro. I mean, yeah, it's something that for me is very humbling, and it's also very it's humbling in the sense of like you realizing that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself. You know what I mean? And you know, it's something that is always, you know, when I tell artists, you know, just doing music now, anytime that you start a new enterprise or whatever, you're pretty much starting over from scratch. So, you know, people know Little Brother, you know what I mean? But I can't assume, okay, Little Brother sold 100,000 records, so my solo album about to sell 100,000. Like, nah, it's
Don't
people,
work that way.
You got to reintroduce yourself.
Dude, you're starting over. You're really starting over. Like, nigga, we know you too. I don't know the drummer from YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, if that nigga decide he gonna make an album, I'm like,
yeah.
Where Bono, nigga? So, you know what I mean?
That's real. That's real.
What
That's
it
real.
is,
That's
you know
real.
what I mean?
That's
So,
real.
so yeah, to me, it's just very humbling, man, just to see that, and it's just, you know, it's really, it really makes me kind of reflective just to think that these songs that you wrote a lifetime ago
Changes people's lives.
yeah, it's still ringing off.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you
It is.
never.
Crazy.
Yeah, that never won't amaze me.
Let's get into another song off the listening, and let's get into the Get Up. And this is Aggressive Fonte.
Is that man? Is that aggressive?
For me as a fan, it's kind of, I should say spirited Fonte.
Okay.
You got,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. The Get Up. Let's listen to it, and we'll play a couple songs, and then we'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, cool.
Let's get into it, man.
We used to just cut, just
This a machine.
like Mad Men. Yeah.
This a machine. So,
Admin.
question that came out in 2006. That was DJ Drama.
Yeah.
So in the DJ Drama version, it had 3 of you guys on the cover.
Right.
Then the Drama Free version only had 2 on the cover.
Yeah.
Why?
I think that was the time when. Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the Drama Free version dropped in like 07. It dropped later.
It dropped after that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it dropped after.
And that was after we officially became a duo.
A duo.
Yeah, because
Okay.
even at the time when we took pictures, we would even take pictures where it was like, okay, this is the group, so to speak, and then this is the touring. Me and Pooh would always take just photos ourselves of just us two.
Because you guys were touring
We
still.
were the touring,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? So like he didn't tour, so
Okay.
that was why we still had a photo left over from that same shoot. You know what I mean?
That makes sense because you had the same.
It was the same joint.
You had the New York fitted on, and you know what I'm saying?
I had the New York fitted on. After I had my tag, we had the black
Had
tee.
on my
We had the white tee.
extra tall white
extra
tee.
tall white tee. Yes,
'Cause
yes.
this was them franchise boys.
Yeah.
Where,
With
you
it,
know,
rock with it, baby.
Man, listen, the T was like 4 X's. I'm like, we
To
was-
my knees, baby.
right,
Bruh.
right. So
Looking
that
at them, that was one of the worst fashion eras ever. I look at some of the photos back then, like, bro.
just
like,
imagine when you seen like Nelly and them at the Grammys.
yeah, right.
And
And then the jersey, you got the tee with the extra long tee with the jersey.
Yeah.
Jersey on
You would
top
have to
of the
dig
tee.
down to your knees to pull your shirt up to get your phone off your
Nah,
hip.
straight up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Straight up to get your sidekick.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So you can beam some numbers, you know?
So yeah, that was but yeah, that was why we did that back then.
Okay. And I thought when I seen Drama and Little Brother, I'm like, yo, how's this gonna work out? And then when I heard it, it was amazing because
Thank you, man.
you guys, the reason why I put you in my top 5 is because you guys know what you're doing and you know this is what we're gonna do and we're gonna do us with you. You
Yeah.
ain't gonna do me,
Yeah.
you know?
Nah.
You ain't gonna do me.
Nah.
We're gonna do us with you and we're gonna collaborate but you ain't just gonna just tell us, we still driving this car.
Nah,
the beauty of the drama situation. I mean, number one, drama's ahead. You know what I'm saying? So he knew, understood, but it was just like, yo, y'all just give me the music when y'all done. Like,
that was it. Yeah, like we did the tracks. Like I sequenced everything, put it together, and the thing was, it was so wild, it was crazy. Like I did a sequence of just everything that we did, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna go here, this skit's gonna go here, boom, boom, boom. Like I lined it all up, and then I just sent it to Drum, and I was just like, okay, well, I said it almost like it's a suggested sequence because I'm like, I don't know what he's gonna do. Is he gonna do his thing?
Yeah.
I'm leaving the room. And they sent it back, and it was the exact same sequence I put together.
That makes sense.
They changed nothing.
He
was like, nah, man, it's perfect. He was like, nah, I just added my cuts, and we was good to go. I said, all right.
And
cool.
I also like to say, I don't know if we were the first, but it was prominent where we made a mixtape that sound like an album. Like people weren't doing that. They were taking whole. Rapping over every song was rapping over somebody else's beat, and we just
didn't want to do that.
Yeah, we didn't want to waste raps like that. So we did one each, but other than that,
I rhymed over hate. And we had to remade that. We made the Kanye joint, and then you did On My G.
On My G. Yeah.
Wait, so now think about it.
Didn't even
you
do
guys,
that song.
you guys may be the first ones to do it because everybody else, like you said, rapping over. Wait, actually, was Young Jeezy before or after you guys?
That was
Trap or Die. I think Trap or Die might have been the first one.
Might have been, yeah.
I think he's 05. This came out 06. This came out 06.
Probably was the first thing.
06.
He's 05. Yeah, he was
one of the first ones then, but yeah.
I know he was one of the first ones that you saw on the news when Drama got raided.
Yeah, you saw that. You saw that on there.
Yeah, that shit was up close and personal. I was like, oh shit, we on the news, and not a good way.
That right?
That shit was wild. But nah, man, that was a crazy time. I mean, we were just we did it, and we were just really frustrated because we did the album, we did Minstrel Show, and you make a record and you just put your all into it, and you see it doesn't really get the response, the label's not really kind of supporting you, whatever. It's just like, man.
And that was still on ABB too, right, Mr.
No, that was Atlantic.
That was Atlantic.
That's when you went to the majors.
Yeah.
You thought it was gonna be different.
Boy, did we think wrong. That shit wasn't different.
It's funny because Evidence and Dilated had the same situation with Capitol.
Yeah.
They thought it was gonna be grass was green on the other side.
At that time, they just, and I mean, I don't know if it's that different now, but at that time, they really just didn't know how to work what we were. Like, they didn't know how to work with what we were.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We were a touring group. They was like, what we supposed to do with that?
Yeah. We was like, give us some tour support.
Give us some tour support. So it was just different things. The internet was, still fairly new. The labels were fighting the internet and streaming and shit.
Yeah.
It was just
streaming wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't even streaming. It was
just iTunes.
Yeah.
Like, and even that was just like,
Napster and shit like that was out.
They were still fighting LimeWire and all that. They didn't really know what to do with it.
And then too, on top of that, all of those changes were going on, and then we were just kind of one of one. So it was a thing where I was talking about this just in an interview I did like the other day, where people was asking like, what's the difference between coming out now, LB in 05 versus LB in 2019. And the thing about us in 05 is like we were the only hamburger joint on a road full of like hot dog joints. You know what I mean? It's like if you go, it's like there's an advantage in business. Like if you open a McDonald's, it's a good thing if a Burger King's opens across the street from you, and if a Wendy's opens here, and then if a Fat Burger opens here.
Yeah.
Because that gets the consumer in the mind of burgers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
if
it's
you're
like,
the only one, it's kind of tough.
They don't know what to make of it. It's like, you know what I mean? But so, but if you're surrounded by other like things, then at least you got a shot to lead the consumer down the path of discovering you. But again, I mean, this is 06, 05, our contemporaries were them franchise boys.
Yeah.
D4L. You know what I mean? Like it was, I think in our label mates
twins or some shit, huh?
For real.
Our label mates was T.I. and
Twister
and Juvenile and like
Trick Daddy.
Yeah, those were our
and
label
I mean,
mates.
again, great guys.
I would have loved to hear Trick Daddy, Little Brother collaboration.
So would I.
That shit would have been hilarious.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
I fuck with Trick.
I know, right? I can see y'all making some amazing music together.
Man, listen. I just had this conversation. I said, it's only a couple rappers I would actually, if I was in Miami, I would ride around with and Trick Daddy was one of them.
Definitely, definitely.
I would ride down with T Double D, baby.
Trick Daddy Dollar.
So talking about major labels and the trials and tribulations of major labels, what do you guys think about this whole De La Soul thing with Tommy Boy and whatnot? You guys some opinions on that?
I mean, man, yeah, dude, it's the game is the game. You know what I mean? It's harder now. I mean, people, as much as people decry like the major labels and stuff, I mean, it was kind of bad when we were on, and for the record, I personally have nothing bad to say about Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
Because they let us make the music that we make. We took that record straight out of our hard drive
and gave
in Durham and gave it to them.
Oh, wow.
And they put it out on the date we wanted.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the title we wanted. They let us
As
do
is.
They just didn't know how to
everything we
market
wanted.
you guys.
Yeah,
They know.
they just didn't know what to do after that. It's like, okay,
yeah.
we put you out, but
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, bro. So I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about them in that regard. In regards to just De La and just what it is, I mean, whenever you sign to a major label, you're giving up a big part of control, and it's a gamble. You know what I mean? So you can say, okay, well, I'm giving up this control in the hopes that me giving up a piece of this control will lead to bigger things and will be more lucrative or whatever. But if it doesn't go that way, then
You're behind 8 Ball.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I mean, and with Tommy Boy and De La, man, I mean, I think that's really unfortunate. I mean, I think that, just even the regular, I can't think of any other business where you come to them with your intellectual property and like it's just it's theirs forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
In perpetuity.
Yeah. Just I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? And so with that, I mean, I know I was looking on Instagram and like Pos and Mace.
Yeah.
He was just saying, he's like, yo, like we want ownership. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess, they want the masters back or whatever. And to me, it's just one of those things where it's just like, man, if I'm the label, nigga, if you ain't made your money back off this shit in 30 years, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like these records are 30 years old.
In the label's defense, and I'm a De La Soul fan, do they owe them that?
No, they don't owe him that.
Yeah.
They don't owe him that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a thing where you're not owed. It's like, okay, we signed the contract back then, and that contract was based on what the game was back then.
Yeah.
So like now, like I saw it recently. It was a contract that like they still had terms in there like breakage.
Yeah.
It was like they charge you 10% for breakage. It's like,
breaking what?
How the fuck do I break an MP3?
Right.
Nigga? Like, they don't like that. Don't even exist no more.
Ain't no tape decks. Ain't no records no more.
And they
that.
still have that old antiquated shit in contracts today. And it's like, so I just think that it's a situation. No, they don't owe them that. But what I do think they owe them is because these are still beloved works and they are still profitable. I do think that they owe them at least, at the very fucking least, a renegotiation and a reexamination
and respect that
of what this work. Not even respect, because that's nebulous. That's like, you know what I mean? No, nigga, we did this shit 30 years ago, and this shit now that we got now that didn't even exist when we did this. Yeah. So
let's renegotiate with the new technology
based on what this is now.
And
if that means we get a part of ownership, or we get to own our masters, or we do whatever, let's sit down and have that conversation. But to still continue on in 2019 like it was 1988, man, get the entire fuck out of here with that shit. Nah, let them boys. I'm rooting for them boys, man. Them the big brothers, them the OGs.
I agree. 100%.
They need to, because at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, fuck the music, fuck the money, whatever. This is your legacy.
Yes.
So this is a thing where it's like, okay, if I'm my 14-year-old son, if I want to explain to him how great De La Soul is, nigga, unless I'm about to play him 3 Feet High and Rising on vinyl or CD, he can't do it. He can't access it.
Yeah.
Because everything is on the phone now.
Yes.
So it was the same thing with Prince's catalog. You know what I mean? When he was off streaming service. And it's just like, I think in a lot of ways it's very short-sighted on the labels have, because it's like, dude, you're erasing yourself.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You fucking up your legacy and you're erasing that. So nah, man, Tommy Boy, they got to get off that shit. They fucking up.
They need to. So now let's get into the new album. The new album. You guys have fun making this album.
Yeah.
Well,
once it was over, I was like,
the fun.
It sounded like you had fun.
The fun.
Thank you.
It was more. We really became friends, like really became friends during the process of making this album. And what I mean by that is, as we got into the process, I would drive up to Tay House. I live almost 3 hours away from him now. So I would drive up to his house for a couple days, and then we would, if I'm there for 5, we would
stayed
work.
in his house?
I stayed in his house.
Yeah, he was
stayed in the guest room.
Who made breakfast?
We didn't eat breakfast.
Yeah, I would run and go get breakfast.
Yeah, go get breakfast. Like, I mean, and breakfast, and mind you, breakfast
start about them 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
I'd make a run to Jersey Mike's and get like a little turkey sandwich or whatever.
It would be days where we didn't even see each other till like after 5.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would wake up and be in the guest room working, doing my other work. He would be up doing his work, and then we'll come
reconvene
and keep in mind,
common area.
This is still family, so I still gotta like.
He's still
I gotta
picking up his son, and
and
then it'll be like, all right, let's eat. Okay, now let's discuss. Whatever.
What's the work for the night? What we got? Yeah.
And then we wouldn't even start work until about 10 p.m. at the earliest.
You have a studio in your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been recording myself probably about 10 years now.
Okay.
And we made the decision of like, listen, we're doing everything together. We ain't just emailing verses. We ain't we're gonna be in the room
together.
Yeah.
We wrote together.
But it sounds like that because you can tell when a person's not together and they just email beats. It just sounds like, but you can tell that you guys, like I said, it sounds like you have fun.
It was. I mean, it was the process was fun. It was. I mean, but it was fun, but also challenging as well.
Yeah. And this is kind of what we needed because before when hip hop first started, it said this is a fad. How is it going to grow up? And they say you got to retire at a certain age. But now in this new 2019, 2018. We're starting to get grown folks rap. Yeah, and I'm thinking like 444. I'm thinking like you guys. I'm thinking like even the stuff that Ghostface and Ray is doing. It's still hip hop, but it's like grown man hip hop. And I appreciate that because I can relate to that. Like I said, my knees is bad, so I can't bounce with a vibe for too long.
Nah.
I still need to bow my head. I can't bounce.
And it's about being relatable at the end of the day as well. It's like, I like a lot of the younger music, but at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff I can't relate to. Like, I don't go out.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of drugs. I'm a homebody, man.
Yeah.
I like being in my house. That's why I made it nice, so I can be in it.
Exactly.
So it's one of them things for us. Like, it's just giving an example to the younger generation. Like, you can age gracefully in this thing. Like, you don't have to
do it.
Yeah, because this is the first time that you're seeing it done. I mean, this is the first time I think we're just kind of at an intersection. Just a lot of things happening in hip hop right now where this is the first generation I think where we're seeing the older cats actually get older in it and still do it.
Hip hop's still new, honestly. It's still new.
Yeah, it's a young art form.
Yeah, it's 50 years old. So
it's like and the thing was like the first wave, like the OGs, I mean, it was so sudden when the sea change happened with them. Yeah. So they never even got a chance. I mean, like, you look at Melly Mel,
MC Shan or somebody.
Yeah, like, I mean, bro, like even Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, they had a little minute, and then Run DMC came, and it was over. Immediate.
And then all of a sudden we had Jay-Z and Nas and DMX.
Was dude, Run DMC was dude, and then when Public Enemy came, that was over. So now we're in a situation where hip hop has lasted long enough to where artists have been able to really build a fan base for themselves, and as long as you keep getting to that fan base and keep catering to them and keep making quality material, you can make records as long as you want.
And I just want to say, Fat Joe is the god. He's the only person I know that has spanned 3 decades and has been relevant in all 3 decades.
Only one I can think of maybe him and Busta. Like Busta Rhymes is like
okay, yeah, I can give you Busta.
Busta and Fat Joe, they're like cockroaches in the nuclear.
And when I say relevant, I don't want to credit any guys that's been around. Relevant by means like even the young kids.
They know Joe.
They know Joe.
They know Joe.
You know what I'm saying? So man, listen, hey man, salute to Fat Joe.
Yeah, Fat Joe, Busta. Yeah, all these cats that have been able to just really
transform,
and weather the time.
So I'm gonna add another name to that, E40.
Oh man, absolutely.
Yeah,
E40 might have 4 decades.
See, the thing about E40 is in a separate category because E40 is like, man, look, E40 is he's the guy, and it's just like he created a lane for himself.
That nobody else is in.
Nobody else is in that lane.
Nah, he sounds like no one. He's another one. He's just so singular.
One of one.
He sounds like nobody.
Yeah. So this new album, is it what you guys wanted? As far as the response, the the attention, the accolades, all that stuff. Is it what you guys wanted coming back for the first time in
Wasn't
many
worried
years?
about that.
Yeah, you can't think about that.
Like what we wanted was to make a dope album
that we were
accomplished
proud
that.
of.
Yeah, we accomplished that.
Now you can't hang that shit on if people. The most thing that the expectation, I guess, if there is any of putting out music, more than anything else, you just hope that people get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you put something out and people get it and they say, well, you know what, I get what he was trying to do here, but nah, these are the criticisms I have against it. I can sit with that because it's like, okay, well, you understood the vision, but you just didn't think we executed it great. Fine.
Yeah.
The problem comes in when people start comparing it and saying, okay, well, if it's not this, then I'm not gonna listen to it, or if it's not this, then I'm not even giving it a shot. And it's like, well, why didn't you do this? Like, well, you're penalizing me for something that I didn't even attempt to do.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to sound like 05 because, nigga, I don't want to go back to 05.
Right.
We passed that shit.
It's 2019.
Yeah, so it's like that's the thing, but
I'll be honest, I'm one of them old heads. Man, I wish they bring back that old sound.
I don't want to go back to that shit, man.
You can't. But I like the fact that you guys did it in a modern way. You guys still
have to move forward.
It's cohesive.
Dude.
It's cohesive.
Because for a lot of people, I'm not saying for you specifically, but for a lot of people, it's not that they want the old sound. It's like it's what that moment in time did for them.
Yes.
And you can't compete with nostalgia.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You
It's nothing I'm going to be able to do that's going to make you remember them days in college eating top ramen with hot sauce.
When you ain't have no
when you ain't have
responsibilities.
nothing, like you just out there just getting it in, and it's nothing I'm going to say that's going to make you feel like that again.
No, not 100%. No.
That's a losing game. The best
Yes.
thing I can do is just make music that speaks to where you are now and hope that you hear some of yourself in that now.
Yeah.
But me saying, hey, we're gonna take it back or whatever, like that's just that's a fool's errand.
I don't even want to take it back to yesterday.
Nah, nigga.
You moving forward?
Yo, nah, for real, yo. Like that's real. Like I don't like. I mean, just all the things that we went through, and yeah, bro. Like we ain't going back to shit. we was broke as fuck back then. I don't want to go back to that.
Let's talk about a couple songs on that joint. So the song "Right on Time." Pooh, you talked about driving Uber.
Yeah.
Did you actually drive Uber?
I sure did, and Lyft.
So I related to that because I told you my son, you met my son or whatever. A year and a half ago, I was driving Uber to pay for him to go to private school.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get out of, I worked at the Staples Center. I would get out of work and I would drive for 2 hours, 3 hours before I go home, just so I can have extra money to pay for private school. And I will always worry about, damn, if I'm at Hollywood, I pick up one of the homies or whatever. But I was like, fuck that. I'm out here doing what I can to feed my family. So when you said
what's the shame in that?
Exactly. When you said that, I was like, fuck. That shit is
man.
home, man.
It was real, man. Like I tell people all the time, it's peaks and valleys in this game, and you're not always up, you're not always down. But when you in those valleys, I'm going to make sure I eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure my bills are paid, and that was something I was able to do. That still allowed me flexibility,
the freedom,
to do whatever else I needed to do.
It's just like all like the actors out here, like they work waitresses or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's what Uber became. It became the new. It's like, yo,
the new waiter, right?
You know, I can go out here and make $700 this week, and then I can go on tour next week. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to ask for no time off. So yeah, I did it, man. And for the record, you know what I'm saying, just in case anybody missed it, I was 4.97 on my rate. You know what I'm saying?
I was a 4.8. So yeah, I'm with you.
I'm with you. I took pride in my work. You know what I mean?
We'll say that for it. I was going to ask you some crazy Uber story that you have, but
man, that can go on forever, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a whole nother episode.
A whole other episode. So on that same song, you talked about Fonte. You talked about being in the club being old in the club.
Oh yeah.
And
I think that was
that was
time. That was
sitting alone.
Sitting alone.
Sitting alone. You're right. Sitting alone. And I can relate to that as well too, because my wife like, yo, we just gonna hang out, and I got these young cats here, and they say let's go out or whatever. And I have friends. I'm like, I try because I don't want to be that old bitter guy. But
yeah, you want to stay up. Like my thing is just like when we're writing that verse. I mean, I think in what we do, like just in the business.
Yeah.
Like I'm in it, but I'm not of it.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna stay adjacent to the game. Like I'm gonna stay in it close enough just so I know what's going on, so that I'm just not so that you don't become a relic.
Yeah, exactly. That's a tough thing.
You know what I'm saying? But so I just need to see enough just to know. Okay, this is this. Okay, the kids this. That's what they like. Okay, cool. all right, I'm going to watch HGTV.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
And you
I mean,
and you mentioned, was it you or you mentioned Flip and Flop?
That was me. Yeah. I gotta. Yeah.
Me and my wife sit at home and watch Flip and Flop, and we like, damn. When Tarek and it was going through they issues or whatever and shit, and then they came back together. I'm like, how the fuck he let her come back?
Right.
And she cheated with the contractor.
Hey.
Like. It must have been.
He didn't want to fuck up that bag.
I was about to say it must have been a big ass bag because it's no way that my ex-wife left me for the contractor and I go back and do a TV show with her ass.
And the contractor.
And the contractor. So you said that, and I relate to that. So I appreciate this album because it was still good hip hop, but it was relevant hip hop to me being 44 about to be 45.
Thank you, brother.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. And then on the song Everything, Fonte, you said my man was heavy on my mind, so I gave him a call. Mm-hmm. Was that based on y'all call, whatever?
Yeah. Okay. That was absolutely that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, it was just that was just kind of actually that was the first song we recorded.
Was it?
That was the very first song we did.
Okay.
And so that was kind of just like the idea just in my mind was just okay. These are just two friends sitting down to talk for the first time in forever.
Yes.
And so they're just shooting the shit, just talking. And so that's why like. When we structured the song, it was like, well, normally you would go like 16 hooks, 60, whatever, but all the verses are, I think, a little longer than, I can't remember the exact count in my mind, but because I wanted it to sound like a conversation.
It was a feeling.
Yeah, sometimes when you think the hook is going to come in, Pooh comes in with 8 more bars, and I cut him off and I spill a little something.
Yeah.
I wanted just to have that feeling of a back and forth conversation of two friends talking for the first time in a long time.
That's dope. And something random. You guys had the Justice League.
Yeah.
That was and then all of a sudden this other Justice League came out doing Rick Ross and shit. I was like, yo, like these dudes went from like little brother. I'm like, damn, that's. And then I realized it wasn't.
It was a different Justice League.
It was a different Justice League. That fucked me up.
Yeah, shout out to Rook, man. For Justice League. Yeah, I know. Yeah, those are when we first started doing records. Actually, I think me and Rook we used to talk on like. I am all the time. Just show you how long ago this shit was.
Yep.
We would be
AOL or some shit.
AOL. Straight up, we'd be on AOL. And he's like, yo, man, we need to do something. And I'm like, yeah, let's with it. But we always thought we just never got to do something.
And he stole your name.
Well, he didn't steal our name. I mean, technically, we stole the shit from DC.
That is true. It came from DC.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Well, actually, we didn't.
We were just us.
We were just us. JUSTUS.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were, we were pretty kind of free from copyright.
We were McDowell's. You know what I'm saying? We were McDowell's.
That's it.
They got the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick. It's different. So something else.
That's dope. So we're gonna get out of here, man. Hey, this has been an honor.
Thank you for having us, man.
This week has been one of the greatest weeks of my life. I actually coached my first high school basketball game yesterday.
Oh shit!
Nice.
We lost in overtime by 1.
Hey, bro.
But we was down by 22.
Nigga,
so we brought it back. So
the fight is there.
And then I get a chance to interview one of my favorite duos of all time.
Thank you,
man.
I appreciate it. Pooh has always been a solid individual since day one, man. So I appreciate you for always being authentic and you guys for doing what you guys do.
Thank you, brother.
Let them know your social medias, all that good shit.
How we can get a hold
of you. This is Little Brother NC on Twitter and Little Brother _NC on Instagram and Rapper Big Pooh on Twitter and Instagram and Fontigolo on Twitter and Instagram. And then you can also go to littlebrothernc.com.
That's like home site for everything. So
that's where all the apparel
concert tickets, all your shirts, Blackness tees.
When we gonna get with the basketball shorts?
Man, we gotta wait for it to get warm again. You know what I'm saying? We working on it though.
It's always 75 degrees out here.
Ain't nobody buying basketball shorts in damn December.
Yeah,
we are in LA. Shit.
Right. We working on designs, man. We gonna have a couple new pieces drop. You know what I'm saying? From that, starting. Well, I don't know when to start, but we're gonna have a few pieces, new pieces drop. So, just the shirts and stuff you see now is not all that's coming. We got some things in there.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely go in there and cop a few things. I seen some stuff. Blackness, I love it.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I love it.
The Blackness, I think that's like our most. The Blackness tees
and the UBN network.
UBN network tees, like we can't keep them shits. So.
And I have a personal question for you, and you can tell me no.
Okay,
you guys are performing on soon. This is gonna air later, but you guys are performing on Thursday, LA.
Okay.
Can I introduce you guys? Can I bring you guys out on stage? Can I introduce?
Nah, we don't do that.
We can't. I can't bring you.
It ain't just you. I mean, it's like we've had other people.
Yeah, the way our show set up, it doesn't require that.
I had to shoot my shot. Guess what? I shot my shot.
Hey, that's the
ain't nothing
important
wrong
thing.
with that.
It's nothing wrong. Shoot. as future Tech.
And that's what I tell my little kids, my little freshman team. Hey, you gotta shoot the ball.
Shoot
the ball, but don't take a bad shot. You'll come sit down. Get your ass back on defense. But man, I thank you guys for coming in or whatever.
For sure, man. Thank you.
I can't wait for the next album.
I can't either, but I'm gonna have to wait for it because I got so much other shit to do.
Got so much other shit to do.
Yes, sir.
But